So land, sea, and sky, that's the theme at YVR. And in 1992, the Airport Authority took over management from Transport Canada running the airport. And at a time of great change in business, it's no longer thrilling to just fly in a plane. People needed something more to entertain them at the airport. So the experience was important in what to create a sense of place at YVR, to make travelers remember where they are and where they've been. The airport had the opportunity to buy the second and final casting of Bill Reed's masterpiece, The Jade Canoe. Well, it's a spirit of Haida Gwaii, and we call it the Jade Canoe. Jade green, like the green Pacific. As you are arriving in Canada, before you arrive in Canada, you're welcomed by the Musqueam people. This area was designed by 6 Musqueam artists, and it talks about their traditional style of art. So we have a giant spindle whorl here by Susan Point, which shows us an eagle talking about flight, arms upraised in welcome of land, the human, and then the salmon in the arms talking about the sea. And the Musqueam the airport's on Musqueam traditional territory. So it was important to recognize that people are welcomed first by Musqueam and then into customs by Canada. And these are also by Susan Point. They're house posts or welcome figures. Traditionally would be at the front of a house telling you who lives there and in gesture of welcome. So welcoming travelers and also welcoming those who live here back home. And what else can I tell you? Here we go. Also in this installation are weavings, giant weavings. And the spindle whorl that we saw typically would be 6 inches in size. It would spin the yarn that would create the weaving, that would create the wool for the weaving. And these are hand-dyed and hand-woven and hand-spun. And they also talk about land, sea, and sky. You can see the birds. As you come out of customs, you are welcomed again by welcome figures. These would be traditionally placed on a beach at an event. So when guests arrive, the figures would be there and with their arms out in welcome. They would be temporarily placed as a gesture for a special occasion. And what special occasion? Welcoming your loved one home. This is a work by Connie Watts in what we call the Pacific Passage. It's another experience that YVR offers in telling the story of British Columbia. And the thunderbird is the keeper of the sky. And when her eyes open, the sun shines, and when her wings flap, the thunder and lightning go. This is a canoe Whaling Canoe by Tim Paul. It is the story meant to tell the story of our human journey. And there's a sea serpent on the side there and a moon representing the humans. And on the other side is an image of our ancestor who has gone before us. This is all a Pacific Passage experience. Which includes this piece by Lyle Wilson, and it talks about the origin of light and how light came to be, and the point in history when from darkness we went into light, where so people could think and see and record their history. This is an installation in the Domestic Arrivals, and it is also, again, by 3 artists, Dempsey Bob, Robert Davidson, and Richard Hunt. And it talks about the realms of the supernatural world, where we have creatures, but there's also supernatural creatures, and creatures that are seen and unseen, who can transform and change into different beings. And this piece by Dempsey talks about the human and the bear, and whatever happens to the human will happen, whatever happens to the bear will happen to the human, and vice versa. It's a lesson for us to pay attention to nature. And this one is a piece by Steve Smith, and it's called Sea to Sky. And it's a set of drums, and the drums ascend up in that space, and they talk about the different creatures of land, sea, and sky. They also represent drumming, and in First Nations culture, drums are used for special occasions. So people are drummed in when they arrive, and they are drummed out when they leave. And here's a piece by Don Yeomans, and this is a double-sided totem pole, and it talks about nature and culture again, and up above is a moon mask, and then we have a light installation that talks about the northern lights. So all the installations at YVR create an experience of some sort of BC experience that you would have if you were traveling to different parts. This is by Dempsey Bob. It's called Fog Woman and Raven, and it's a story of the streams and salmon returning every spring. And this Fog Woman had the salmon, and Raven wanted the salmon, so he married Fog Woman to get the salmon. But he didn't treat her very nicely, and so she decided to leave, and she called the salmon back to her. And at that moment, Raven comes back and tries to grab her, but she disappears into the fog. And then the stream weaves out to the open ocean. At the end, you can see a big a big orca at the back with a tank. This is called The Abode of the Orca Chief by Lyle Wilson, and The Kelp Forest by John Nutter, glass artist. And the Orca Chief is the king of the ocean, and underneath him there is the aquarium with all of his subjects. And in the aquarium are all the live creatures that you would see if you were scuba diving here off of the coast. Also, we have a painting here by Gordon Smith, and it sort of talks also about the seashore experience. And Gordon actually got in his kayak and traveled up and down the shores and documented the debris on the shores. So we take that trip with him when we walk by this piece. We also have a display case program where we showcase all of what's happening in BC, not just First Nations artists, but our vibrant community of visual artists. And this piece is by Renee Van Helm. And we have the display cases move throughout the terminal. Well, not the cases, but the art within the cases moves. And it changes, and we tell various stories of BC's art community. Here's a story of the Flu Fog shoe. We show painting, sculpture, fashion design, printmaking, furniture, industrial design, you name it. So the idea is that the 17 million people who come through IVR can get a sense of the vibrant community of arts and artists that we have in BC.